Well, I've been coming here for many years. By the way, I don't take this for granted because I narrowly missed coming this time. Since last year when I went for holidays and so on, I was about to go back to the Father, but without, I thought that that was not good manners, and the Lord allowed me to come back and say goodbye to everybody. I've been coming for many years because I do believe in this work, which goes down to the heart and the purpose of what the church is there for, communicating. Since God is the first communicator, and He gave us His life and love. And sending His Son, Jesus, He wanted us to continue on this work. So, what we are doing here, I want to say it quite clearly at the beginning, because during the course of the week, maybe, we shall hear some critical remarks, what is not well done yet, what is missing, and so on. And I wouldn't like you to think that we are forgetting the good things that we are doing. And I thank God for this, and each one of you, and also those not present, but working in all the dioceses, to spread the good news through the different media, diocesan bulletins, radio, phones, and so on. Now, we are doing our work in a context which is, changing. And for these past years, we have been witnessing how much more the world of communication has gone ahead in technology and so on, right? And at times we've been trying painfully to keep that pace and also update ourselves, right? But of course, we don't have the financial resources and so many skilled professionals as other companies or institutions have. So we are always finding ourselves a bit, limping on this line, right? Now, that's why we keep and we need to keep training. Also this week, we are going to have one particular aspect. Every year we are taking one aspect of communication, trying to call in professionals, experts to teach us how to do our job better. And it is fine, and I've seen improvement during these past years. Because one of our weak points is the rather high turnover of staff. No? People are being trained and so on, then all of a sudden they are changed, they are doing something else in the diocese and so on, and new people come in, and we somehow have to start all over again, right? That is one of our weaknesses. But we keep doing it, and we want to do it. But remember, let us keep our eyes open. The world of communication today is a world, and the society we live in is a society which is saturated, filled up with information, news of all kinds, like a sponge, no? But when a sponge it's full, it cannot hold more water, right? You pour, but it goes on, it goes off. And this is what is happening in the world of communication these days. So many news, that in the end we don't remember even what is really important. We don't find time to discern this is important, this is, less important, this is rubbish. Also because among these news there are many fake news, as you all know, particularly through social media and so on. It is a word which somebody said is drowning in information, but starving in knowledge, real knowledge of the thing. And the information that we are getting is often just superficial, simplified, also because of the speed of information these days. You cannot waste time. The radio program is limited, TV is limited, and so on. So we have to say what is essential and what is most important. But often, things are not that simple. And we fail to help our people to understand the complexity of some issues, right? Take, for instance, now the very emotional issue of homosexuality and so on. Everybody is talking about it, but it's not that simple as that, And there are nuances there which need to be highlighted. And this is very rarely done. The doctrine of the church, the catechism of the church is there, the Pope keeps speaking about it and so on, but we just run the risk of doing what the other medias are doing, going for what is popular, what people would like to hear about it, and so on. So, what I'm advocating for is a serious commitment to do our job well, to do it better. I repeat, I'm not forgetting the good work being done. I'm just saying that it's not enough. Our people need better information. Maybe less news in number, but no, better presented. Let us help our people to understand the issues which are at stake. Even, for instance, the war between Ukraine and Russia. Again, it's more complicated than what it appears, right? And we need to help people to understand that while, of course, it is blatantly wrong for Russia to have invaded another country and so on, the final solution cannot be left to just war. And ways should be found out to restore justice, but to help people and nations and countries to live in peace. And this is where, at times, we are not doing enough, right? We just repeat what other people say, oversimplifying issues. But for this, I mean, this is, refers to the professionality of our work. And for this, as I said, we are going to have another training also this year, which will be establishing and managing a sustainable media in the digital age. Yes, because indeed, I've seen also during these past years a number of issues, or a number of initiatives being taken. We are here now, and the number of media, even our own media, has increased. Things are born, people are put in charge and so on, good initiatives are started, but then after a while, they fail, or they cannot continue. There is no follow-up. Money has been invested, but then eventually we find ourselves unable to continue. And the question of sustainability is really important, right? And so that's what we need to do, continue the training and so on. But my point here, this morning opening this communication week, is another one. Of course, I'll be having time at the end of our being together, as usual, to reflect and help you to understand better the message of the Pope, right? Speaking with the heart, telling the truth, but in charity, in love, and so on. But here, in a more general way, I would say, I would repeat what I told you before, that unfortunately, somehow, but let us be realistic, we don't have enough financial resources, personnel and staff and equipment and so on, as other media agencies have. We've got political parties or the government or big companies behind them, right? We shall try to do our job as professionally as possible in increasing the quality, all right? That is a must, all right? But we do have something with which nobody can compete really, and something which nobody else is doing and will ever do. But we have it, and sometimes we forget about it, or we don't put enough stress on it. And that is our content, the good news. Looking at things, events happening and so on, with the eyes of Jesus. And helping people to see and judge events, whether local, or national, international, and so on, in that light, the light of faith. And that makes a difference. That makes a difference. And I'm asking myself, are we doing it enough? I'm not saying that we're not doing it, but are we doing it enough? Because this is what would make a difference. Would make the content of our radios, of our bulletins, and now again with the TV, not something, like one TV more on top of those already there, or one radio more on top of all those who are there. But a radio, a TV with a difference. And the difference is given by this Christian perspective, the values of the gospel. Of which we should be imbued ourselves, first of all. No matter how good you are professionally, from the technical point of view, you may be able to prepare a very good program and so on. But if that conviction is not there in you, and you don't put this in it, you find a way not to preach, not to catechize, or to just, recite novenas as such, right? But to make sure that our people today may get the message that they are not alone in their struggles, in their problems, the poverty, the corruption, whatever, and so on. Unless we do this, then we are failing our mission. And I repeat, nobody else will do it if we don't do it. That is our responsibility. And if we don't do it together. Again, and I want to conclude this, my introductory remarks. Among the many things that I've observed during these past years, there's one which is really where we are still limping. Progress has been made, all right, but we find it very difficult. That is to work together as a team, to cooperate, to coordinate our actions. We've got so many, 10 radios here, plus those, the stations of Radio Maria. Now there's already one TV, now that's going to be the other one, and so on. But we are fragmented in our action. Each one is taken up completely by his own problems and challenges, and there are many. And we think that we don't have time to spare to see how best we can do things together. Conveying the same message, insisting on some basic truths and messages to be conveyed through our bulletins, from leadership to the diocesan bulletin and so on. If we could work more together, we would have a greater impact. But still, we find it difficult, right? And we have the ironic scenario of communicators, because we are communicators, who cannot communicate among themselves, right? Or not enough, right? So my appeal is once again, I've been trying this. Initiatives have taken place. Remember, sharing stories of the radio and so on, and other things. They started, a few people got on board, then after a while the thing died out. Why can we not now? With this good news again of the revival of Cameo, all right, which has been, well, they've met in the last 2 years. We said that we wanted it to be revived. The committee has done its work. Now the officials are there working together in order also to get maybe adverts together, you know, and to be able to get out our message in a more effective way, but for people to understand that we are one. It's not just the radio Cassese or the one of Lira and so on, but it is the Catholic radios, right, for instance. So my appeal is to try again. Let us take this chance. Cameo is being revived. We are now going to launch the Uganda Catholic Television in an official way. I'm not speaking about it now because that will be the topic of a special session and so on. But let us take this chance. You know, we may back home lament maybe and even complain the bishop is not giving us money, or people, the parish priests are not cooperating, or you know things are not bought. But with these two, we still have a lot of potential. And if we do things together, it can work. And it will work. So I wish you all, and I really ask the Lord to allow me to see it happening, if possible, a renewed collaboration, teamwork of the communicators of the Catholic Church in Uganda. Through all our means. It's not now a question of favoring the TV, which is starting somehow, I mean, officially, or favoring that radio with the other one. It's us, all together. And we are all working for the same purpose. And that's why, even, for instance, the TV will need the radios to advertise it, to talk about it, to make it known, to invite people to join in, and so on. As well as the TV will be able to insist on, particularly with the news coming from the different ecclesiastical provinces, on the need to support the media of the church in that region, and so on. Right, I've been talking too much already for what I intended to do, but please, let us try. I never said it is going to be easy, it never was, and it will never be, but it is possible, and we can do it. But this does not depend mainly and only on having more money, as often we think. Maybe if we had more money, we could get new equipment, we could pay better salaries and so on. That is important, but it's not the main thing. The main thing is the change of mind and heart of us, the communicators, to put our heart into it and make sure that what we give to our people is something which nourishes them. And information is also forming their conscience of Christians, of citizens, to take part in the social, political life of the country, to give their contribution. It is our responsibility. The bishops are there, the priests are there, and religious and so on, but the media are there, our media are there for this purpose, not for anything else. Not to become popular, not to get more money, but to serve better our people. God bless you.